I think we're looking good. Welcome to my orange face because the kitchen light is on and it's bouncing onto my face. So I last weekend just finished Yakuza 6, The Song of Life. And man, it was a wild ride. First of all, I gotta say that this is probably, with the exception of Zero, because Zero is golden. But this is probably my favorite Yakuza game so far. And you know, like it's also, besides Zero, it's the most like emotionally mature narrative there is in this series. You know, it delves a lot into themes of like fatherhood, and you know, every single character has their own perception of fatherhood, be it they be somebody's child or somebody's father. And like, there are so many different types of relationships that the writers kind of come up with that uses the base of a father-son relationship. And some of those ideas get really sad because, you know, you have fathers losing their sons, you have sons losing their fathers, and I don't know, like I don't want to go like into like specifics, just because like I want to avoid spoilers and everything. But like, really, every single character, there's like some sort of like patriarchal bond to somebody else. I also gotta say, I guess, you know, talking less about like the themes of the game now, you'll know what I mean when you play it, because it's so there's a web of thematic importance on fatherhood, and to explain it all would be to explain the entire game, and I think you should just go find out for yourself. There are many bait and switches in this game. For one, actually, I mean, I guess like, you know, I'll start off with, you know, going back to like the emotional maturity thing. There's not like a lot of like cheesy plot twists in this game like there are with the other ones. Like there are plot twists, but it's like, it kind of, I don't know, I don't want to say like it changes the situation, because like the plot twists in all the games just changes the situation, but like in this they don't feel as contrived as they usually do, because the plot twists in Yakuza games are usually pretty silly, and like they make sense, but they're definitely silly. But the plot twists in this are like, oh, so that's what's really going on, and like that's messed up. So yeah, the narrative is definitely a lot easier to follow in that regard. So there's that. You know, one of the plot twists being the final fight not taking place on top of the Millennium Tower. You're going to the Millennium Tower in what you think is the final encounter, and then when you find out it's not, you're like, oh, you son of a bitch, you tricked me. I was ready to rip off my shirt and everything. So yeah, that was an interesting surprise. I know there was something else that kind of like changed the formula. Oh yeah, well, you know, Haruka is always getting kidnapped, but now it's her son Haruto getting kidnapped. So that's an interesting change of events. I really like the progression in this game. It's akin to Yakuza Kiwami 2. I played that last summer, but you know, on like after having the weird like number progression, like level progression of Yakuza 3, and then like the orb progression of 4 and 5, which I didn't hate. You know, I really like the different types of stats that you can get, and the fact that you can get you know, experience from like eating food and everything. You have like the hunger gauge, which I think I don't remember if 5 had that. I'm pretty sure 2 had that, Kiwami 2. I still do prefer the money progression in Zero because I think that's funny. But I really do like the progression in this game. It felt really rewarding and not contrived like 3 did. I really like the dragon engine too, like the way that combat feels in this game. I don't know if that's like a hot take or something. And you know, after playing Kiwami 2, I kind of already gotten used to the ragdoll physics. But I'm really curious to see if the Judgment games are going to follow that, as well as the other 2 Yakuza spin-offs, because I know the mainline series goes full turn-based JRPG, which I'm really excited about. And I think it uses the same engine too, but I don't know like how. I'm just curious how that's going to play out whenever I get there. You know, the game looks incredible. The graphics are insane. I love going into first-person mode and just walking around Kamurocho or Onomichi. I really like the way that they did the cutscenes in this game. Not like the cinematic cutscenes, but like the ones like with the dialogue boxes that you can like skip through, because it still had an air of cinematic to it. They got rid of the text box completely, and it kind of like looks like the full-on cinematic cutscenes. So it's kind of immersive in that fact, where it's like, okay, so like I'm at the point in a cutscene where I can like just start hitting X if I'm reading faster than the Japanese is speaking. But you know, in this game, like the only indication that there's a cutscene there is the little X at the bottom. And I think the fact that it doesn't break from the cinematic style of it just kind of makes it feel smoother. I don't really have much more to say about the game itself. I mean, I'm sure I do have a lot to say, but like that's like getting into spoiler territory then, and I don't really want to talk about that. I want to talk about this release though. This is the Essence of Art edition. I don't remember if I got this on release or if I got it secondhand, because I got this a few years ago. But it comes in this really cool like matte finish like looking book. There's like a lot of like fan art in here and everything. It's gonna be really hard to turn the pages, but yeah, I think that's the way to do it. Yeah, it's got like this really cool fan art in there that I was like skimming through. There's Mr. Onomichi. Oh, actually, that's another thing I wanted to talk about because it reminded me because of the Onomichi sub-story. Even the sub-stories in this game, like a lot of them, like most of them that I came across, that I stumbled across, they also kind of like delve into fatherhood as well, in albeit sillier manners. But like even the sub-stories are mainly about fatherhood and what it means to be a father. And I think that's really interesting. Like the whole game is like, it's so thematically focused, which I guess if I remember correctly, Yakuza 0 was like also, I'm gonna have to go back to play that again. Maybe I'll play the director's cut whenever that drops. I think the reason I like this game so much is because of how focused it was. I remember when I was playing this, Kiryu was dying again, and my fiance was like, "Is Kiryu dying again?" And I was like, "No, he'll be fine, because he's in spin-off games." Because of, you know, she was there the way Yakuza 5 ended too, whenever he's like bleeding out, and Haruka's like, "Oji-san!" Yeah, Kiryu can't die. He doesn't die. Kiryu, I don't know, Kiryu might die pretty soon. We might be getting to the age of RGG games where Kiryu's death is upon us. And I might cry whenever that happens. But we'll see. That's it for Yakuza 6, The Song of Life. This is definitely one of the best things I've played this year so far. This might be one of the best things I will play this year, but time will tell. We'll see. Do you want coffee? She can't drink coffee.